Alright, I'm going to be going over my Eldlich Odion deck. To start with, the main differences from most Odion lists, besides the obvious inclusion of an Eldlich engine, is no extravagance. And the reason behind that is, I like Super Poly, and the second reason is no Purge. So, Purge would fit very well because it's also 10 points and it's just kind of crazy against the meta, specifically Vanquish Soul, because they rely on their ads like from Extravagance and Raisin, so if you hit them even once, it can be turn ending or game ending even. Super Poly's a pretty good alternative because it hits all of the meta, as you can see from my targets, and you can even fuse away your own monsters pretty easily. I was playing the fusion for this guy because it's generic, but I found like it doesn't come up even though it's super cool, and that's the whole reason why I wanted to play it, just to kind of style on people, but it had to go, sadly. So, the other difference is, of course, Purge. It's really good, and it's definitely optimal, definitely amazing. It locks you out of Redoer, which is your best rank 4 turn 1 play. So, I would miss that, but if I had him, I would play him, definitely, even considering that. And if I had the Purge, I would also play Extravagance, which would cut down on some of my other non-engine, because Super Poly would be gone so I could play more multiples. Because the only ones you really make every game are these four. The Serpent, Lars, and Apophis. And Redoer. So, there's that. Some quick downsides of the deck. You're weak to Droll. You're really weak going second. Like a Cosmic Cyclone can end your turn. So, the goal of my deck was to have a bunch of going second cards and non-engine. Which is another reason why I play hand traps and such over cards like Needle Sealing and Torrential, like other Odion players might use. Another cool thing about this deck is that it's deceptively a trap deck. So even though the Eldlich engine may seem like a going first engine, it's actually much better going second. Because if you open Eldland, it's just a free send and a targeted removal on anything. It's pretty good in this format. And what's even better is when you bring back Eldlich, because if a monster can't be destroyed by card effects and they have over 3,000 attack, they might as well be a towers. Your opponent's gonna have to use something crazy to out it. So that's why I really like it. Now to go over the actual deck list, we only have, for real starters, 11 starters, 1 card starters. If you want to count Small World, I like to. Sometimes you have to get rid of Circuit, which is sad, but I still like it. That's another bonus that the Extravagance adds over that, is that you get access to your very few amount of starters. Next up we have the Apophis. I like 2 and 2. I would even do just 1 Apophis of this one, but you have to do 2 because of Dracotel Sting and because of DD Crow, and it's okay to open going first, and it's okay to open going second too, even though it's a trap card, because I play the Eldlich engine, so it kind of gives me a little more lenience to play cards like that. Of course, the engine requirements, Temple the Kings, and Circuit. I could see playing 2, because I found out that you can't shuffle back Temple of the King's cards with this. It's specifically Temple of the King, so I have not been playing that correctly, but now I know, so yeah, I might have to go up to 2, but 1 is definitely just the best. You want to minimize your bricks. 3 Cursed Eldland, it's amazing going first, amazing going second. The reason why it's amazing going first now is because if you open it, it's an interruption by itself. If you have a card to discard like one of these, which are free because of the fusion, Divine Serpent. And the reason is because they came out with the Elixir Golden Land, which is both in one, so you can send this guy to set this. It looks like a very small Eldlich engine, and it is, but I think this is just the minimum. That's still good to play. I don't like the Elixir because it's just plain out slow. I was trying it 3, 2, 1, and then now I'm at 0. Had multiple of these, was playing the Banish one. But it's just not worth it, to put it simply, like they're trap cards. If I open up these going second, once again they're not liabilities because of Golden Lord. And going first, they're pretty cool interruptions. If you end up sending this and banishing it, like this is really good to set and just reset this. That is one of the cool synergies with this deck, is because Temple of the Kings you can use it that turn. Yeah, I really like this engine. Another thing is, I was talking about how Golden Lord is like a semi-towers in this format in Genesis, but you can make an actual towers turn 1 pretty easily in the form of this guy, and I'll go more into him later, but he's pretty much impossible to out. And if you hit on him turn 1, and you hit on Lars, which is like your usual board, almost always if you combo, if they try to out him, you can just protect him, or do it preemptively, and now it's like, they have to play really weird. They can't bait him out with the equivalent of like a Nightmare Cerberus, which isn't in this format, but anything like that, they have to actually work for that negate to be used. So this is the Eldlich engine. Next up is Droll. It's definitely my favorite hand trap because of Vanquished Soul and because of this deck, specifically Odion. It's pretty good at stopping both or making them play a little more fairly at the end of the day. I can't imagine it being bad against any other deck either, even against Dracotel, which is probably the 3rd most represented deck in my locals. People just play janky stuff like Upstart, and this kind of punishes them. Just makes their boards a little bit more fair, even if it's not optimal against every matchup. But I feel it's a little necessary considering the point value. Next up is this guy, which I love. He works really well in this deck because of Small World, and because of Temple of the Kings. So, he's a free hand trap, which is very, very, very underestimated. I feel like this is the most underestimated hand trap at 0 in this format. That's probably because you get locked out of your extra deck, but this is one of the few decks where you can still be relatively fine without your extra deck on the follow-up if you're forced to use punishment. But oftentimes you don't even have to use the punishment immediately on their turn, and you can play into your extra deck a little bit. But even if not, you have Eldlich interruptions and you have the Apophis stuff at the bare minimum going second. And the punishment is usually enough to just crack them. There is argument to play the Magistus fusion just to clear bodies, to make another rank 4 out of your bodies. Let me see if I can find it, just to convert that even further, but the extra deck space is so tight. That's another reason why I don't like to play Extrav, because I just like really fun, janky cards. Anyway, so the one punishment, that's actually a 3rd reason why it's amazing in this deck, is because although he can only shuffle back Temple of the Kings cards, he can shuffle back any traps. So off just one punishment, you can use this guy 3 times if you just keep on recycling them properly. But even if you're out, like 2500 is 2500, and you're summoning a lot of big bodies, as you can see, just trying to close out games. Next up is Super Poly. I really like it against the meta. If you normal summon your Odion guy with a cape mark, and your opponent Holly Sues, before they get a chance to use it, you can use turn player priority to just fuse it off into Mud Dragon. And once you get out Mud Dragon against Vanquished Soul, it's a living hell for them, because you can call fire, and now they can't bounce their Raisin. Or you can, oh, and Lars is a fire, so it just becomes hell. Almost a game winner, because they lose a card from Holly Sue, and they lose that ability to play their deck pretty much. Ultimate Slayer. It's an okay main card. I like it because I have Eldlich to pitch it if it is dead going first, and you know, this is a pretty back and forth format, so if they do crack my board or if I get drolled and I can't really make a board with just one interruption or whatever and they make something, this can kind of handle whatever they come out. I love the card versus Dracotel, even though it's not supposed to be good versus them because you shuffle back their fusions, which don't actually do anything. Because of Natis, so you just clear their back row. So that's the main reason why I like it. If I didn't play Natis, I wouldn't like it nearly as much, because it wouldn't do anything against the 3rd most popular deck in my local. I play Genesys because of Small World, because of tower decks, and that's the main part. It links with Fleur-de-Lis and Ash. This is another thing that I would reconsider if I had Purges, because They function pretty similarly, except against fusion spells that fuse from the deck, which, yeah, this guy's pretty amazing for that. And onto the side deck, 3 Cosmic. It's good versus the mirror match. It's good versus pretty much everything, but it's often best just to side it, going second against specifically Dracotail and going first specifically against Odion. Lightning Vortex. This is one that I would re-evaluate because I mainly had it for Vanquish Soul, but they end on the trap that protects them from card effects. So it's probably not that good in reality. Alternatives are Swords Revealing Light and Book of Eclipse, which costs, but Swords is free, so I kind of like it. Swords does lose to Cosmic Cyclone, but my deck already loses to Cosmic Cyclone. So the way I see it is if they hit Swords over this literally just ends my turn if they hit that, or this too. So I have a lot of Cosmic Bait. So Swords wouldn't be too terrible. 3 Flying Sea, this should definitely have at least 10 points on it, but it doesn't, so you kind of have to abuse it. But what you're using it against is also an abusive strategy in the form of the Automat deck. So it's crazy if they don't have it out, but they often can. I think they can use the Automat continuous spell to make it a level 4 and then exceed with it. Oh wait, it can't even be exceeded with. Yeah, so it's just tough for them now, and that's a really good deck that I'm afraid of. Brutality C for all the fusion decks. This is going to be even better once the branded deck comes out and people play more brand and more fusion decks. In general, like Archmage 2, I think every fusion deck should be playing Rahu, so this kind of just punishes that. Verdict of Anubis. This is one of my only going first side cards. It's a searchable Solemn if I have 3 others. In retrospect, it's not that good because in order to have 3 other spells and traps, usually I have to combo off if I didn't draw too well. So if they droll me, there's a chance that this is dead if I were to open it. So something like Iron Thunder is something else to consider. Needle Sealing is the other one. I haven't really gotten to use it, but it's just a really cool card on paper. It's very wide. Really good against Vanquish Soul, going first or second. So if you kind of halfway crack their board and you get into like a back and forth, you just set this, and whenever they start to go off again, you just drop the ceiling on them. 2 Apophis. Definitely don't need 3. Yeah, but this is like your best guy, best follow-up. You just keep resetting them. I don't ever end on it. I always go for Lars instead. Redoer. Love this guy. Crazy. He dodges, and it's something that they always have to worry about. Reoccurring threats are very good in this format, like Strike Ninja. Like guys, Lars, best Exceed in this deck for sure. Always end on it. The alternatives are a really Crazy Beast. But this is just way better. More rank 6s that are good are Dragon Gate, which I really like. That's the only one that I would consider playing in addition, because this is just the best one to always end on against every deck. But on the follow-up, you kind of want to play to crack them back and go for game. You don't really want the back and forth, even if your deck can grind, so I'm considering playing this guy. Because if you use a trap, yeah, it gains 2,000, because you'd be attaching a monster and a trap. So it looks like he'd gain 2,000, I haven't really read it, so if I'm mistaken, sorry. And they would lose 2,000, so that's a lot of damage for being able to attack a lot of times. Next up is the Dreadnought. Like I said, it's the towers that you can get to easily. Not much else to say about it besides going into Lieb, which is another OTK thing, kind of like the Dragon Gate. It's an alternative to that, I guess. Maybe Dragon Gate's better because it's easier to get out because you could do it entirely with the Odion engine. Mud Dragon, Super Poly Target and Slayer Target. Super Poly Target, I wasn't playing this before, but I was kind of struggling against Dracotail and such, so I added it, and my Super Poly was often dead versus them because they have funny type and attribute combinations. So this is just kind of something that can checkmate them, unless they are fusing the dragon ones from hand or deck. This is another recent addition. Extremely good with Slayer, or specifically Punishment. It's really good against Odion because whenever they summon the Apophis monster, you punishment. Or whenever they summon, I'm trying to think. Yeah, whenever they summon Circuit, that's what you do. You punishment 25, 25, yeah. You punishment and then you destroy another set. So it's pretty nice. This is another alternative to send off of punishment against the Odion deck. And Atis. This is definitely my favorite edition, like I said, because of Slayer and punishment is just crazy. This is just a Slayer guy. Occasionally, I guess, a punishment card if they have like a non-destructible thing. And lastly, kind of like the jank fun cards that I really like and are actually kind of decent. The Fallen Angel, which you summon by tributing a light zombie while you control Golden Lord in your field or grave. So you can tribute him himself, or you can tribute one of the trap monsters. And what he does, if he's sent to the graveyard, you know, we don't have links and don't really fuse with them, so the only way is to crash the attack into something. You summon an Eldlich monster in your extra deck or wherever. So I just wanted to play him to make rank 10s and to make this guy. Like I was saying, cards that can be destroyed by card effects are kind of towers and really good in this format. So this guy's even better because he has high attack and can be destroyed by battle. So if you summon him versus Luna Light, he's pretty good. I don't think that they can out him easily unless they play Droplet. I haven't actually had to summon him, but he's just kind of in there because he's super cool. And yeah, that's the deck profile. If you'd like any more, just let me know. I'm planning to make some more jank ones like Cosmo, things like that. So yeah.